Thank you, Chair. Honorable Minister, as a retired general, former minister, and for your sacrifice in the struggle, I want to say thank you for your service.
Thanks.
And for your sacrifice.
Thanks.
I have no bias. I will ask you questions based on your submitted evidence and also the testimonies that we've heard thus far. General, when I questioned Minister Mkunu, I used Socratic irony to test the truth in his testimony, whether he actually applied his mind before he made the decision to disband the PKTT. After putting the facts of his evidence to him that shows all the reasons that could possibly support the conclusion in his letter that the PKTT no longer added value to the police service in South Africa as a whole. He defended the PKTT on every single fact I put to him. This now showed that based on his testimony, it is not the work study or the budgetary issues that actually caused him to conclude that the PKTT must be disbanded immediately. So the question is, what truly motivated him? What's left is the allegation of General Mkwanazi that the reason is because the minister is protecting drug cartels. Well, thus far, there has not been substantial evidence provided to prove that allegation, especially since the main witness, General Mkwanazi, testified that he can't say that the decision is unlawful. He can't say that for a fact. He also testified that he can't say that Minister Mkunu and General Sibiya is actually corrupt. Therefore, we must still probe more witnesses to try and get to whether or not his allegations are true. But General, on the day, I was convinced that there is a third possibility. For now, I can only call that possibility the minister's conviction. There's something deeper that he's not telling us. There's something that he knows. I don't know yet what exactly it is. The best I could do was to tell him to stand by his conviction, even if it goes against public opinion or risks his position. I told him to put South Africans first. But today, hopefully, your testimony will assist me to get one step closer to the truth. General, you were the Minister of Police when Nathaniel Julius, a Down syndrome little boy, was brutally shot and killed by police. After 4 years, there's still no justice for Lokis. General, is the reason for this because there's corruption in the police and the judiciary?
Chairperson, good morning, Honorable Member. Chairperson, I was asked if Mkwanazi is the first one who made the allegations against the system, not just the police. And I said he was not the first one. Actually, the first that I know was a judge, Judge Tulare, and I read the judgment of how high does it this one goes when he says even the decorum of the courts and the judicial officers cannot be saved on the 28 and mobster gangs, I'm sure, and others and all that. So it does look like, okay, and the latest discussion, I'm sure you have seen it, of the judge and the bribe of the Mulife bail. So these things are there, people talk about them. Maybe somebody needs just to come with it and say, here it is. So I would not sit here and deny that corruption on the chain does not exist. But I would not come to you and say, here it is, as a system. But I would come and say there are individuals. For instance, there are police officers that are in prison. There are prosecutors that are in prison. So there are individuals, but is it the system itself or the individuals that are running? So that's what we need. That's what we need to make. But specifically, the young man that was shot and the police claimed that it was an accident. I guess I need to be helped. The matter is in court. I need to be helped on that one.
Yes, General, the initial judge fell ill, and then the whole case had to fell ill and passed away, and then the whole case had to be started over. And the last time it was heard of about the matter was late 2024. And so now it is still continuing, but there's not real solid feedback on the matter. But it is still in court, but there's no real feedback as to how far it is.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't know, except that the community of elders did raise the issue about the police in that particular area, the station commander, and that community has been at that station many a times knocking and saying, take this police away, take the commissioner away of the fundamental thing here. No matter what about you, once the community loses trust on you, you become almost useless. And whether you are corrupt or not, but when the community says you can't be part of us, and that's a problem. But the police themselves will argue to say, look, we have done our work, and it is on the second segment of the system, which are the courts now. That's why I did, and I want to do again, to say this kind of probe must help us to look at the chain, honorable member, rather than looking. And up to this point, I'm still worried that the concentration is on the first segment, which is the police, and other people are having it nice to do whatever they want to do when they're not looked at. But I don't think we're there where the communities of South Africa are really singing hallelujah about the system as a whole. Much work will have to be done. How much and how long, I don't have an answer.
General, you were also the National Minister of Police when Joshlin Smith got missing. Is Joshlin Smith still alive?
The last question is?
Is Joshlin Smith still alive?
This is a story of the little beautiful girl. The story comes, and one goes to that place. Is it somewhere in West Coast? What is that place?
Saldanha.
One goes there to cry with the parents and find out what is it. And then national commissioner, provincial commissioner, we go to see the protected parent, because the community has an issue with the parent, with mother from the very word go. From the very word go. You know, most of the time these communities can lie. Yes, they do sometimes do wrong things as a mob. We go to see this. We go to see this mother, who is in the protection of the police. The first thing she asks is if the boyfriend is safe. Okay. You know, you've lost a child, but the first question you ask is that one. The second request you make is that if the boyfriend can come and join you so that you can be safe. Not absolutely nothing about the child. Nothing. And then when you ask, this boyfriend is not the father of the child. And then you say, there is something wrong. I said, National Commissioner, what kind of a mother that will lose a 6-year-old and ask about the boyfriend first? I said, in a very light way, we'll have to find the story. What is it here? When we went to see the father, after that we went to see the father now. And the father said, my story is that the mother knows what happens. This is the father now saying so. We went to see the grandmother, and the grandmother said knows. And then I think that was the angle from the police that followed. But I must also commend the community of that area. I've never seen such a formidable, united community around the matter. That community pushed everybody for something to happen. Then this theory of investigation, it was say the child has been kidnapped. It was about Inyanga. I'm sure you know what Inyanga is. It was about Inyanga, Muti, and all that kind of thing. So the theory of Muti, then the child should not be living once it's for that. A person was found to say so Inyanga, selling, and all that kind of thing. I don't know where police find the information. But there was a special team, honorable member, that was sent in Heathrow to search a boat, to search a ship. I think it took about 2 days searching that ship because somebody said she was put in that particular ship, but that ship was found in London or in Europe, whatever port where it was, and the child was not found. When one went there, community raised the issue again that police were a little bit like lackadaisic approach in dealing with the matter. I said, when this community is so much active and so much involved, police can take a reverse gear on it, go to it. And indeed, there were many police searching and all. It's where we were together with your leader, working on the matter and all that. One thing that I can say, that is one matter that was worked by everybody, politicians, community, law enforcement, abefundisi, everybody really worked on it. But the question you are asking, after all this, and the mother found guilty, I don't know if Joshlin is still alive. I wish she would. But even if she is alive where she is, I don't think her life will be a comfortable life. Because nobody could have taken her out of the parents to give her a better life than the parents, no matter what is the social status and standard of the parents. I don't want to say I don't have a hope, but I don't have information. After the judgment and the sentencing, police said they are continuing to search. I think that should continue until we find the final understanding what happened to Joshlin.
Thank you, General. I think I agree with you. We should continue to search and do our best. We still have hope.
Nothing. Sure, I would do honestly.